I am extremely pleased to be here today. I'm extremely pleased to welcome you all and welcome the online audience as well. I'm giving you a little bit of an introduction and background to the subject of consumer data. I will briefly touch upon some of the main challenges that we face. Then a small discussion before talking a little bit about future directions and setting the scenes for the very interesting talks to come. So consumer purchase data are increasingly available. That's both from loyalty programs, digital receipts, scanner data panels, etc. And every time you enter an average Western well-stocked supermarket, you have all the goods of that supermarket to choose between. That means that you have up to 100,000 item yes/no questionnaire that you fill in every time you go to your grocery shopping. We can also collect these data continuously over time. And that means that we have consumer purchase data emerging as a possible way to assess and communicate the health effects of the consumer products. The next thing we need to talk about is sustainable data collection. At SSI, we have created this GDPR-compliant solution that collects digital receipts from 3 of the 5 largest retailers in Denmark. And we also collect the personal identification number to be able to link that information to registered data and other research projects. We collect product names, the barcodes of products that allows us to enrich the products further. Despite having this excellent solution, we are also dependent on not only the content of the participants, but also the digital receipt provider company that helps us collect the data and the supermarkets that has the data in the data warehouses. We think that with higher digital adoption and more retailers providing data, we'll get a more complete and stable consumer profiles over time. And that will improve our ability to formulate proof questionnaires, etc. We also did some matching on these data, and we were able to collect out of 210,000 unique products. We were able to match 87.7% of data by volume to at least one of the databases that I have listed here. That includes computer data that Tor will talk more about later, but also global product standardization DS1 data and the Frederik food database, which is a generic food database. We also matched a little bit of products to the Facts database, which is a French database collecting these kind of data. But of course, this is 3 databases, and we could probably do better with more product-based databases and better data. This is actually just to try to interpret these challenges in a more graphical way. So here I'm setting the size of this square represents all the information that is potentially possible to collect, i.e. the raw consumer data from all consumers, for instance, in Denmark. That is extremely useful, for instance, for outbreak investigations, where the product, the actual product name can be very informative in finding out why the source of an outbreak. And as I just mentioned, we can also see that we can match these products to a lot of product databases, and that enables us to analyze, i.e. product ingredients, nutrients, chemicals, etc. That all has a potential effect on our health. But of course, we don't get all the data. We only get a subset of those data. So the more retailers providing data, the more stable our collection of consumer or our individual consumer profiles will become. And that will reduce the risk of missing important disclosures. There will always be some things that we will not be able to assess. Now we got the last one, and that was actually all about eating out with friends, families, etc. Of course, this relatively new field has a number of limitations, but also some strengths. First of all, right now we are troubled with a little bit of challenges getting a large sample size. There's also the issue of selection. People that provide these kind of data may be different from the rest of the population. We do not have 100% product data covered, and we do not cover all the relevant variables of each product. We do not have consumer data from all retailers, and 60% of households are more than one-person households, so we have to adjust to that. Finally, these are commercial data sources. That means a lot of collaboration with different commercial entities, which is not always easy as a public health institute. So strength. Well, I think first and foremost, we have prolonged assessment over prolonged time frames, which allows us to do some research that would not otherwise be possible. We can assess very broadly a lot of multiple, very hard to assess exposures. We have low time consumption on behalf of the participants. It often only requires a very short constant. There's no recall or sociability bias. And we have potentially a very fast translation of the results. And finally, international product standardization should enable us to transfer results from one country to another, given that we built this out in due time. This is a busy slide, but it just tells you a little bit about what I see as future directions within this field. First of all, we need to make stable movement a solution that we can use and get a lot of people to actually provide data. We have to have pipelines that enables the enrichment and matching of product data with different kind of very relevant exposures. And then we need to retrieve personal identification over time so that we can match these exposures to health outcomes and trajectories and analyze the consumer data's impact on health. And finally, but not least, we need to start making prevention based on consumer data. And I know that we will hear a little bit about that later today. So I'm very excited to hear about that. For the upcoming talks, I would like to have you all thinking about what have you achieved in this field so far, what is needed for further advancement of this field. Also think about common naming convention. We tend to call different things in different research groups. Data access and improvement, product matching, validation, outcome assessment. And finally, collaboration opportunities. I think they are abundant, and including addressing common barriers standards. So with this, I'll leave the word to the next speaker. Thank you very much.